So Saturday will be T's. It'll be 2 years since my son passed. So we've been dealing with that shit on top of the fact that we had T with us when Irma hit. So and then after Irma passed, that next um, the next hurricane that came after, T had already passed. So, but this we had two back to back, and then it just kind of fell on his 2 year, and it was just like, ugh. I, I just know now. It's like my wife read something to me a couple days ago, and she said, if you weren't strong enough, they wouldn't have not chose this life for you. Like that's kind of like you know like this is just that's what I'm supposed to do. How I'm supposed to feel.
Well, I mean, I think there's a healthy message in there in that I guess it harkens back to a little bit to like the God'll never give me more than I can handle in a day. Uh, but nobody, Kevin, uh, no parent, I don't care how strong you are, what your constitution is, no parent should have to experience it. And the fact that it's 2 years, I mean, it feels like 5 minutes to you probably, but
Yeah, no, it's in my mind. It's still not too late to go. Can I come back? It feels like of that. Almost like when he was on the floor and they were working on him. It's just like, man,
are you
my
still in
life
his bed,
is
Kev?
when he went
No,
in.
are you
Or
still in his bed now?
yeah, yeah,
Is his room pretty much the way he left it, or
yeah,
did you do anything?
yeah. It's like one of those crazy people shrines to their kid. Nothing's been touched.
What,
I
like
mean, I
in
got
his,
my shit in there. Don't get me wrong. I've got my 23 sleeping apparatus in there.
yeah, but you're still going to come in contact with his stuff. And what's the
Yeah.
hardest? Is it jewelry? Is it when you
You
see
know
his
what's the
sneakers
no,
or
no,
his
it's
guitar?
no, it's his fuck. It's our house used to always have fucking music in it. Like that was I woke up, I listened, I heard music. I went to bed, I heard music. Like we always had music in our house. I mean, since he's gone, those guitars sit over there, the piano sits over there, and it's just like that's the hardest thing. 'Cause that
Is
was just so much the energy in the house.
I know your part of your process is like sleeping in the bed, kind of immersing yourself in your son. Like,
No, I mean number one, he had fucking by far the most like way chiller than the fucking guest room where I was. Like he
oh, the nicer setting.
oh he had the master of the original house before we built on.
Oh, right.
Fucking walk-in bathroom, walk-in closet. I mean, shit. He was living fucking large. Big ass. That kid had one of like when the PlayStations would come out, his would be like number 7. Like I'd get because he would always know when it was coming, and it was the only thing that made my status mean anything was the fact that I could usually pull something off with one of the video
Oh, one of the
people.
companies to get
Yeah,
the
like EA Sports
right.
would hook me up with one or
Is where does how is Tamara like when she's got to go into his room for something? Is it
she really doesn't have to go in there because she doesn't have to go in there. She sticks her head in, She'll sit on the bed sometimes in the morning if she's gonna go, like if she's gonna go someplace, she'll sit there for a minute with me before she leaves.
Mm-hmm.
She's cool being in there.
Okay.
She
I just
likes.
don't know how I'd handle it, Kev. I put myself in your place and I
Yeah,
try to.
because I stay in the room, so I shut the door, and then when I leave, I like the room to be open.
Yeah.
And but she's always used to him because he always shut the door, and then you would knock on it. There were sometimes he wanted his privacy, as any fucking 26-year-old male would. He just
Mm-hmm.
wanted his fucking privacy. I remember I got this thing from a hotel, but it's actually it's like a boutique thing. It's kind of cool, but I put it on this door and I said, now when he said you got to be responsible enough just to fucking put this on the door so we'll know to leave you the fuck alone. But you will get an 8-hour wellness check. you know, like you can have. I just want to make sure you're okay.
It was like a do not disturb door hanger type thing.
Yeah, so it's still there. So I think because when I shut that door in the morning, and she sees that sign's there, and she hears me downstairs. I'm sure for that, just memories. It's just like he's right
Mm.
there.
Do you talk to him?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's something I would do too. Do you? Do you? Mm. Where was your belief system before this, and how has it changed? Did it have to change to be able to get through the day? I think mine would have to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I ever didn't have belief. I'd never in my mind said I'm an atheist.
Okay.
I never had that. I've always, I also am not a God is this great. Like God looks like me. Like I'm not. That ain't my picture of some big. Of course, it'd be much longer and I'd be older, but you know what I'm saying. Just that I am God, like Oz. That got over. Uh,
But it did
yeah,
change when your father passed, because I remember your mom saying, "Take the
yeah,
church clothes off the first
yeah. But
Sunday."
that was just fucking. I was just taking a fucking work shift off. You know, fuck,
And so
man.
internally, nothing really changed.
Yeah, I mean, no, nothing in terms of you either believe you. At that point, man, if you believe or you don't believe, especially go through the process at 8 years old of putting your dad in the dirt. You got to have something. You,
Mm.
you can't just at 8 years old look down at the casket and go, "Yeah, we're all gonna be just there, same place, just a filament in a light bulb. Once it's gone, it's like gone." Like, no, you don't want that, man. I don't want that fucking. That's not my train of thought.
Mm. How about your brother and your sister? After your father passed.
Um, that's I don't know what their like position is because we don't talk about it.
At the time, did you when you were kids? Like, did your sister ever come up to you and say, "Is Daddy
My
in
sister
heaven?"
doesn't. My sister has no recollection of my father.
How old was she when he died?
She turned 4, um, 7 days after he passed.
Mhm.
So that's all post traumatic.
But
She's
Mark
was 10.
right,
I was
man of the
8.
house, for God's
Fuck
sakes.
yeah! It's like, oh, buddy, go there and get Bob's checkbook. I'll show you how to write a bill.
They take him into the basement and do a Cosa Nostra ceremony
Yeah,
where they
what
cut his
the
palm.
fuck?
But yeah. So with Tristen, did you try to? Did you go to church? Did you go some?
No,
No.
no, he didn't believe. He didn't believe in anything. and then I don't know. It wasn't long, but it was it was a decent period of time. But I don't know where they went. I know that they went with Tamara someplace. I think they met at my sister-in-law's. But my friend, my son's best friend. I'm not going to say his name on here, but um, you know who you are, Isaac. And
I was gonna say, I think you have already, but
yeah, but
okay.
I mean, but they did mushrooms up in the room, and they gave, but they he mar- T gave me the lowdown. Like I said, I've done mushrooms. I know the fucking routine. I won't. I'm not gonna fucking come in and fuck you guys in your tripping or anything. And but the last they did, I think they did a pretty good dose. And they came down. He said there was there's this chair in our TV room, and it sits like against like the bookcase where where the screen is, because it's the backbreaker. It's the world's most uncomfortable chair, and it fucking costs like a ton of money. So
So keep it, Kev. Like,
you
can we get
have
rid
to,
of it?
because
What's the
no,
story?
it's the backbreakers. But that's T came down and moved. My briefcase sits in the backbreaker. Like
So
that's
it's a
my
briefcase holder now.
yeah,
All
it's a
right.
briefcase holder. That's
Okay.
all it is. I don't have to fucking ever say, "Where's my briefcase?" Because every time I work out of it, I just walk over to the backbreaker and I get my shit and I do everything and I put it back in, zip it up. So fucking anal me can be ready to fucking be on the road in a minute's notice. And the last thing I want to do it takes me. I'm so pissed off right now that this storm has knocked out the gym on the beach side.
Where do you go now? But you had another one, right?
I've got well, the one my home base is Total Nutrition. It always has been. And then I train. They have like a greater fitness that's got like three or four. I think I have three now. They've got three different locations around town. All of them got pretty similar equipment. Those three gyms, but they're some of them have like old school unique pieces,
Mm-hmm.
like some of the original hammer strength. That's bigger frame, so it fits me better and shit like that. So, but
But to
the
the
hardcore,
backbreaker for a minute.
yeah. What's
After
that?
but you were on the tripping incident with Isaac and
Yeah. So
the chair.
he sat in the chair and we just were looking at him and everybody was just kind of staring at each other. He goes, like what I thought before that there was like nothing. He goes, there's something. And he just got up and fucking walked out of the room and walked that back up to us. So I don't know what you
Mm,
want to call it, but
mm.
back in the 70s, we just thought, what happened to you, man? You see God?
Orange sunshine.
Boom.
Now Tamara's spiritual.
Yes.
I don't know. Is she denominational? Is there a
No.
formal?
No, she's such a kind human being. It's just like,
Her family was probably religious, right? Just I'm stereotyping given the
her
background and the location.
her biological sperm donor, um, he was Seventh Day Adventist, which is down 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 different, to say the least.
Yes. Okay.
No music, no makeup, just different. So
S-
she was brought up in that until I think she got out of there when she was 16.
Oh, all right. So like by the time you'd met her,
Oh no! By the time I met her, she was no.
normal.
Yeah, well, she was free.
Yeah.
She but from being fucking her dad was an asshole. He was abusive. He's still alive too, so Jerry, fuck you.
I'm guessing she doesn't have much contact.
No,
He's not coming for Christmas, based on what I just heard.
no, no, he won't be.
Um,
Not a fucking fan, sir.
is her mom still with him?
No,
Oh, all right.
her mom's sitting down right now with my wife. It always makes every time I do podcasts, my mother-in-law comes over to hang out with Tamara.
That's,
They have a little daughter mom night and
that's,
have some little food, make some kind of fun food that I don't eat. So in other words,
she'll have the
they can actually
grass-fed chicken.
no, I mean they can
beef
actually
ready
have
for you.
flavor in their food. They don't have to eat micros and macros. They don't have to like what are we having? Did you weigh it?
Tam's mom doesn't ask for the colostrum with her
No,
her
no.
chicken.
Tell you what though, I mean, the colostrum with was it AG1 that used to be one of our sponsors?
Yeah.
Tamara,
They've grown up and left the nest.
and Tamara, she uses AG1. Like that's her every day. She does that with that Armara, whatever it is, that colostrum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
I enjoyed the age. I ripped through that when they were sending that.
Yeah,
to us,
me too.
I
They
single-handedly credit us with their new success, their wide success, and the fact that they're on television all over the place.
I hope.
Um,
I hope that for all of our advertisers that we
yeah,
help,
when our
we,
kids grow up and leave the nest. Kevin, I don't want to leave Tristen because he's been. I said this to you today. Tristan's part of this show and always has been, and it's of course a very conscious thing. And we've been talking about his passing, but I would like to talk about his life a little bit. Is there like a go-to memory that'll crack you up whenever you need it, that you think of something either he said or he did that'll make you laugh, that you kind of have in your pocket?
Yeah, there was one time, man, he had really never sat down and watched the Tonight Show. He was young too, man. He might have been 7, 8 years old, and no, he was maybe 12. I'm trying to just. Anyway, he watched something with me. I forget what the show was, but we watched it, and it was rotten. And the dude that I don't want to bury the guy, but the guy that was the host of the show was fucking. I mean, he was just such a shill, you know. I mean, just and he just looked at the TV and he goes, "Fucking dude's so much a shill." And I'm like, how does?
At like 10?
Yeah,
Or
like
whatever
how
he
does he know
was.
he's like? No way, man. Like really? Like god damn! Like it took me 50 years to fucking get that fucking wisdom. As I said, I've always Tamara and I have said, since he passed, that when we look back at specifics, he was such an old soul.
Mm.
He'd been here so many times.
When did you first notice that he was? I was going to ask you the question. This is a perfect. I'm going to ask you, when did you know he was special? Because everyone thinks their kid is special, of course, but Tristen was so gifted. Not just the music. I just mean his perspective and his insight and stuff. When did it first manifest? Was it when he was very young, like even before that
I
10-year
think like
old?
no, because he was like I said, like in second or third grade, whenever he started playing the piano, um, it was like everybody else played Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars. He played fucking the theme to The Godfather. It was like I knew like that early that this kid was not, you know.
Yeah.
So,
That's the musical part, but like
but
the conversation and talking to him, was he an old soul from like 5 years old?
He was an old. So Tamara and I were separated for a while, and I had a loft in Buckhead, and
Atlanta, we're
my
talking about.
wife lived out in a subdivision out in Marietta Way out there, and T would come stay with me at the loft. And like fuck, man, I remember we went and saw the first Matrix. I don't know how old he would have been. He was man. If he was 5, I think I'm pushing it. And we went at like the 12:45 a.m. viewing to the Matrix. And I had this. My loft had like 20-foot windows in it, and I had these guys make me these purple velvet shades, but behind them they were blackout. So when you close that thing, man, it was like a
Mm.
vampire. It was so fucking dark because there were no windows besides that wall. And these guys did such a. It's one of those deals where you say you tell somebody to do something, and you walk in and you go like, way better than I thought, way more efficient.
Mm.
Like, but they were artists. I knew they were. So I said, man, when it comes to something like that, I've never had, and I'm just talking from just personal experience, like that. Like if I need something pounded, hammered, you know, leveled, but if I need my drapes done and it's going to be a dude, he needs to be gay. I gotta have somebody with some style. I don't want somebody that wears fucking flannel flannel PJs.
How about just a straight guy with some artistic insight? Is it, no
I'm sorry.
needs
I'm
no.
sorry. I'm biased.
Okay,
I'm like I said. I'm only going off life's experience.
that's it. That's all I
I've
want.
had
Yeah.
other. I get this shit in my house right now is from it's put up in this condo is from a straight guy, and I'm like, okay, great. I'm glad you like Tommy Bahama, but we don't. We kind of do more of a modern, theme than that. But
What if you needed some iron work done? Like that can like maybe then it would be exclusively straight men. Is this mining?
I mean,
Some
everybody's got their own opinions on laying pipe.
right. I'm just
So,
boy. I left the goalie out of the net there, didn't I? But to
I say because I'm half baked, so I got to get this out real quick. I saw a fucking deal where fucking Norm Macdonald's doing a bit, and he's hey uh, what the fuck? I'm trying to think of how he did it. I don't want to ruin it.
is this showing the picture of the showing picture of his son? Is this that routine?
No,
No, no. Okay.
no, nah, fuck, I can't even.
So it just it escaped, went down the hole before you could grab it.
Yeah, and it was there too, and it was fucking. It was actually going to be good.
But
Oh,
that's another thing. Tristan was very funny. He would have been a
yeah.
good comic, I think, because his stuff was very. It wasn't like the Jerry Seinfeld relatable everyday life thing. It was like you
See,
had. It was somewhere
hold
between
on
like
now,
Stephen Wright and George Carlin.
because I went ahead and I just funneled T. I said, T, what was I going to say about Norm? And he said, you were going to say the joke, and I said, I'm thinking like I can't remember. He goes, so Norm's at like a sex party, and he said, and it's an S&M party, and he says, you got to be a masochist before you can be a sadist. That's the way it goes, He says, so you're gonna fuck me up my ass, And he says, "You need a safe word." And I said, "I don't know. How about boring?" Boy, that didn't work out well for me. Safe word is boring. I said, "What the fuck?" Like, and that's T would hit me with those all the time. And sometimes I just have to be like, "Okay, you're killing me, but fucking just be T for a while."
Yeah. Oh, but he'd stay in the persona, you mean?
Oh yeah, he'd do like he'd stay. Yeah, it was like Hunter S. Thompson. Fucking yeah, he was saying that. Hold on to.
Hold On to the Night was Richard Marx. Hold on to the night, hold on to the memories. I wish that I could give you more.
I thought that, but that's not the song I was
That's
thinking
not
of.
the song. It's probably Harry
Oh
Chapin you were thinking about based on
no, I'm trying to. No, you can't throw two or three people at me at once. So
yeah,
I'm
you're
trying.
fucked now. It's done.
Yeah.
Ask Tristan because he gave us
He
Norm.
doesn't give a fuck. He's
He-
like, fuck that.
um now T was a musician, right? So like obviously we've talked about that a million times. We play his music at the end of the show. We told people where they can get it on Spotify. Um if he had his druthers, would he have done that professionally as a career
Oh
long
God,
term, or
yeah.
did he just love playing? He wanted to go
No,
the full
of course.
distance
I
with it.
think that yeah, you don't. I don't think you record. I don't think you take it to that level. When you start recording music, you start doing putting, paying for studio time, and
Hmm.
I think that at that point you've decided you're going to make it
Hmm.
your job. So, but I mean, I like I told him, I said, it may not look like it because we may not drive Rolls Royces and everything else. But I said, but I did okay, and I said I don't spend it, so Uh, I said, your mom don't spend it? I said, and you won't either. you know, like we'll all everybody will do fine. You'll get what you need, but and you can stay as long as you want.
Did he have multiple people he like did was his band was there changeover, or was it the same guys always?
He started. It was him and Isaac that started, and then T also has a friend Buddy, and Buddy was Buddy. It wasn't was Buddy is a good. He's a good drummer. Only another one of our friends, Handu, was I think he's an amazing drummer. Um, so they had those three, and then they kind of like I think Buddy and Isaac had a problem, and then that was always to me. I always thought that was the money was those three because they went through seventh, eighth. They went through all and they played. They played together. The name of the band then was the Sandlot. What's the name of that? His first,
Pre-builders.
yeah, Pre-Builders was the Sandlot, and they played it. I know that they went down. Where was it? Lauderdale, and then they did another show. I don't know if it was Clearwater. They did a couple of shows down in Florida.
Hmm.
So
Which side of the family would you credit the musical ability, Kim? And we've heard
my
you sing on this show, so we
my
may have an
dad my
indication
dad my dad
where it's not.
played the trumpet.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Big Bob could. Wah wah. Of course, man. The guy was a cartoon character. I didn't. I mean, I just. That's one thing, man. It's just like I think at this point in my life, I just pray so much that it's not over. That we do get fucking. I mean, if it's just like Interstellar, man. If it's just a fucking nudge, some books fall into a room and you're not like shit, and you because it's just like that your energy could pass their energy again, and wherever it is, that moment might fucking be 300 years of what we do at this rate. So, who knows?
Has
Stranger,
it happened yet in the last 2 years? Did you ever feel any contact or?
dude. I fucking was staying in his room for 6 months. His to get into his television system because he was a good gamer, and he had, like, because he did everything alias, because he found out once he put Nash that he'd get fucking, they'd know he was my kid. He'd be on fucking headset, and I'd come in, I'm like, T. Then he'd be like, fuck. And they'd be like, your dad sounds like Kevin Nash.
What you mean when he used like a username in the
Yeah,
game? Yeah.
he put T Nash. So, but he was a good gamer,
But so
very
what
good
about
gamer.
that? What about the contact with the TV?
I was walking up the stairs, and we've always, as a fucking rib, because in today's world nobody really knows their neighbor. But I don't mind neighbor. I know my neighbors on both sides. They're both. I've got great neighbors on both sides. And one my buddy Jay took us in, like I said, for the hurricane. Put us in a fucking hotel room with air conditioning and TV, and you can't. Tennessee Vols were playing. I watched the Alabama game, and I watched the Tennessee game. So yes,
But the TV was there.
yeah. So the TV. So I'm going up the stairs, and the Christmas tree's on because we want to be weird. And I had noticed in T's room that it's lit up. And we used to sit downstairs in the TV room, and we'd watch videos or watch shit, and then eventually it goes so long it goes to a screen, and it'll be like a picture, and the corner of it in the bottom right hand corner is like the photographer, the artist's name.
Mm-hmm.
And we T and I would always make reference to it because it would be like some kind of a scenery type deal, and like Sydney Opera House, it'd have the guy's name. We said we got to go to so and so. So the whole world was these different people that we had came up with. So
Well, in rounding out our time with him,
T, you'd be proud. I'm really stoned tonight.
he
This isn't like some memorial show or anything memorable, whatever. It's just it's been 2 years,
it's
and
been 2 years, but it needed mention and it needed discussion because he's been a part of this every
no,
week.
I know. I mean, this show is for. I mean, between our names, this is for T, and it's. I just don't want anyone to think that I'm trying to, profit or entertain you by the death of my son. I promise you, it's not. It's just it's good for my soul to talk about him and to make sure
Absolutely,
that
no one would begrudge you that.
I just want to make sure it's that it's.
And you made a conscious decision to go through this with the audience.
Well, they've been with me since day one.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that listen to this show have listened since T passed.
Mm-hmm.
So to those people that obviously if they've been listening for that long, I must say something that makes some sense to them. So I want to continue to be sensible. In the last 5 to 7 minutes, it's slowly just like broken away, and I'm just like, oh fuck, boy. I'm thinking to myself like, wow, there was a couple of times there where fucking Sean I left the fucking oar in Sean's hand there. Like, hey, I just so I can steer you back here, big man.
It's always
But
fun. Keeps me on my toes.
you know what happens though when I talk about my son though is it's hard to talk about him and keep a thought because as soon as you turn that projector on, there's 25 films going on in your head of all the just, you know,
Mm.
and it's such an overload as far as what you want to express, and then you just end up, then you become very happy, you become very sad, then you're just like,
Yeah.
and then it's so. But
It's a ride for
I
sure.
mean, but it was, it's almost when I came down here, because before I start every show, where I'd look across to where T would be now sitting,
Mm-hmm.
and I always say, "You want to do this tonight, man?" And like so many times, I go, "Fuck no," because it's just like, because he would always say, there were times, man, when we did this, that because he didn't have it, he was completely unstructured. So he would get so worked up to have to come down here and do this. It was good for him though, and he would have been he would have grown into this well.
Yeah.
He
Oh
would have
yeah. I
been,
always think about
if
that, where it could have
yeah,
gone if the three of
like
us were
right
creatively.
now,